DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com, WorkOnMyGame.com. The topic is teaching the thing and doing the thing. And y'all got to understand that those are two distinct, separately different skills. If any of you follow basketball, for example, you know that there's a lot of players who played ball and was good at playing ball, but then they try to become a coach or a general manager, and they're not quite as good at that, or an executive in some form, or even an analyst on TV. They're not always so good at doing that thing, but they always can lean on the credibility of, well, I played the game for this long and this and that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're qualified to teach it or even talk about it, honestly, or analyze it. Because the ability to teach something or to coach something or to analyze something or to train somebody else to do something, that's a different set of skills than you just doing it yourself. For example, I had a coach in college who actually, I had 3 different coaches in college, 2 different schools, 3 different coaches. All 3 of them had played basketball. The last coach that I had, he had played at the highest level. He had played in the NBA for like 10 plus years, was number 2 pick in the NBA draft. His name is Armin Gilliam. Some of y'all might know who he is. He passed away like over 10 years, I think 10 years ago. But anytime anybody disagreed with him in practice or about anything, he would always like yell at him like, yo, I played 13 years in the NBA. Like, who is you to question me? Because I got more experience and more credibility in basketball than you, which is actually true. The problem was that coach, he didn't really know how to coach basketball. He knew how to play basketball. And there was a couple guys later on in the year where he would like train people. He would show them, like, even when he did a little bit of training with me, like trying to show me like, yo, Dre, don't bail people out, because my thing when I was playing was athleticism and quickness and explosiveness. He was like, yo, don't bail people out by shooting a jump shot. Take it to the hole on them. Don't bail them out with the jumper. They want you to shoot the jumper because it makes it easier for them. And there was some other guys, bigger guys, because Armin Gilliam was like 6'9", 6'10". He would train these big dudes and show them, how to play the big man game at the pro level, which he was really good at training people for that. But coaching is a different skill than training, and training is a different skill than playing. And just because you could do one doesn't mean you can do the others. And it's the same thing in every aspect of life. Just because you're good at doing something, performing something, doesn't qualify you to necessarily translate that over into, I can teach you how to do it, or I can write a book about it, or I can go on stage and give a speech about it. Maybe you can. There are some people who are pretty good at one aspect of a skill, and then they can take that aspect and they can do it this way. They can do it. They can teach it to other people. They can coach other people on it. They can write a book about it. They can speak about it. They can make videos about it. They can talk about it for 30 minutes or for 30 seconds, and they're good across all aspects. Personally, I like to think I'm a person who's in that category. Like, when it comes to, let's say, basketball, for example, I played it. I could train a basketball player. I'm not a basketball coach. I've never even tried. So I can't even say I'm trash at coaching basketball, because I've never even given a thought or an attempt at coaching basketball, and I don't want to, because I know that's just not a thing that I'm interested in doing. But I can give a speech about basketball. I can write about it. I've written books about it. I can make programs about it. So I can take that and apply it across certain disciplines, all under the same category. When it comes to, let's say, the mental game, discipline, confidence, things like that, hope this ain't too much wind for y'all. When it comes to discipline, confidence, mental toughness, things like that, I can do it for myself. If I work with you one-on-one, I can show you how to do it for yourself. I can show you how to apply it in your business life. I can show you how to apply it in your interpersonal life, dealing with other people. I can write a book about it. I can give a speech about it. I can, like I said, train people one-on-one. I can do a group training. Give me 10 people. Give me 100 people. I can train you on doing this. So I could apply it across all disciplines under a certain umbrella of a certain topic. That don't mean I can do that with everything that I do in life. But the reason why I'm even bringing that up is to tell you something, that in order to translate, those of you who are really good at doing the thing, because a lot of people out here who are good at doing something, and then they try to translate it into other areas. Like they try to become a coach or a speaker or a trainer, or maybe you want to write a book, or you just want to be an expert on a topic when you no longer do that topic. And this happens a lot in the sports world, simply because sports careers are very short. You can't play sports when you're 60 years old. Usually most sports you can't play when you're 60 years old as well as you can play when you were 30. So people try to take those years that they put in of getting good And they don't want that to just go to waste, so they try to figure out a way to translate it. The problem is a lot of people are not good at it, and here's why. The reason why a lot of people are not good at it is because a lot of people are just, they have very weak, very primitive communication skills. That's the main issue. If you want to be good at translating your skill from doing the thing to teaching the thing, and we can say teaching it, coaching it, codifying it. That means making some type of program or product or service that another person can take, follow your program, and get good at it without ever talking to you, like an online course, or if you make a workbook, or just writing a book about something in such a way that people can read it, never ever meet you in person, never shake your hand, but they can learn a lot of what you know and they can apply it and get benefit from it. That's a communication skill. I understand that communication is not just speaking to somebody one-on-one. It's speaking like I'm doing right now on camera, speaking through your writing, speaking through, if you were to, again, create a product or a service, you have to codify your knowledge, take what's in your head, and you got to make it understandable for other people that they can follow it and understand it, do what they're supposed to do, and get a tangible result from it. That is a skill. That is not something that you can just do just because, I don't care if you played 20 years in the NBA, that doesn't mean you can teach somebody else to be even half as good as you were, or even help them get better from where they are to where they got to go. Not everybody's capable of doing that. Just because you played, that doesn't mean you should be out there training or you should be out there coaching. If y'all look around, and again, I'm using basketball just as an example. If you look around, let's say in the basketball world or any sport, there are some great trainers and great coaches who might not have even been that great as a player. But what their skill is they understand maybe what they were missing as a player. Maybe they understand what they didn't do, what they would have done differently if they could do it all over again. Maybe there was just a ceiling to how much talent they had, and there was only so far they would be able to go. They realized that, but they were picking up things along the way to where they could help other people. You look in basketball these days, again, using ball as an example, you got a lot of coaches who are great coaches who, when they were players, may not have even been that great. Maybe they didn't even play pro ball. Maybe they played pro, but they didn't even go that far. Like Eric Spoelstra from the Miami Heat, he never played in the league. He played, I don't even know if he played at a D1 college, but he played overseas, and then he became a coach. Steve Kerr played in the league, but he was a role player. He was a dude who, when he was on the best teams he was on, Steve Kerr wasn't even a starter, but he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. Then you had guys who are a superstar, like take, for example, Michael Jordan. He didn't become a coach, but he was an executive, and for many years, and some people may say even still to this day, Michael Jordan's executive track record ain't that great. Like his teams ain't been that great. He made some bad picks as far as the draft. He signed some people who he shouldn't have signed. And again, to this day, his team still ain't that good. Now, I don't know if he's getting better. You can have your own judgments on that. But the point is, Michael Jordan was a great basketball player. It doesn't necessarily mean he's a great anything else in basketball. Like the thing that he did was playing. And then somebody like Reggie Miller, when he does the broadcast on TNT, or Chris Webber, when he does the broadcast on TV, I see on social media people be complaining like, man, why they got this guy on there? They hate him, even though Reggie Miller is, I think he's in the Hall of Fame. He probably will be in the Hall of Fame as a player. Or somebody like Chris Webber. If they're not in the Hall of Fame, they were at least all-stars. They were great as players. You got to respect what they did. Doesn't necessarily mean they could do anything else in a game of basketball. And I'm giving you that example again. You don't have to be an athlete to understand. Just because you did it for you doesn't mean you could do it for anybody else. Doesn't mean you can't analyze what anybody else is doing, not in a way that's going to produce a tangible, positive result for that person. And the main reason why, again, is people just don't have the communication skills. And to be a good communicator, in my opinion, you must be a very strong observationist. That means you got to be really good at noticing what's going on with other people and diagnosing why it's happening and being able to explain it. And that's a skill set that a lot of people don't have. You can see what's going on. Everybody has eyes, right? But a lot of people can't understand why is this happening, then explain why it's happening, and then deconstruct it to where, okay, if we were to do this over and do it in a different way, here's how we would do it so that you could get the result you want as opposed to getting the results that you don't want. That's a whole different skill set. And if you want to get good at that, then what I suggest you do is what you need to do is work with somebody like me. But you got to sharpen up your communication skills. Communication skills are everything when you step out of the realm of doing the thing. When you're just doing it, all you got to do is have that skill. You've probably been working on that for years, maybe your whole life, doing the thing, whatever that thing is for you. But if you want to help anybody else do it, you got to get good at noticing things. You got to get good at deciphering. You got to get good at explaining. And you got to get good at communicating what's in your mind in such a way that other people can understand it, they can use it, and they can get a result from it, even if you're not there holding their hand. Now, you can hold their hand too, but there's only so many hands you can hold. You only got 2 arms, right? You're not an octopus. So you got to develop that skill. And if I could tell you anything, I just told you a whole lot of things. I ain't got to tell you nothing else. That's it. Doing the thing, teaching the thing. 2 different skill sets. All right, you want to be great at both? You got to invest time into both. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.